Welcome to today's episode of the Insurance, Life, and Everything in Between podcast. My name is Adam Brsan.
And I'm Chris Smith.
If you've yet to do so, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And if you love this podcast, don't forget to share it with a friend or colleague. We greatly appreciate your help and support.
Alrighty, so we're filming a special Insurance, Life, and Everything in Between winter special, holiday special, Christmas special, whatever holiday is important to you special, where I'm taking and Adam's taking the time to bring on some guests throughout the industry that are proven leaders, proven producers, proven successful individuals that you can trust what they say, because there's so much out there that it's all talk, but if you saw the deposits behind it, you'd be terrified. We have John Kight on with us today. Partnered with Equus, runs his own agency, Integrity Partner. I'm going to allow John to introduce himself and share a little bit of background information so you know who you're listening to. Then we're going to talk goals and whatever we can cram into a 25 or 30-minute period. So, John, say hi to the viewing audience and let them know who you are.
Hey, yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me on, Chris and Adam. And my name is John Kight. My background prior to starting my business was professional golf, and then I got into different levels of the life insurance or the insurance industry, and actually got my start recruiting for a guy that owned an annuity company or an annuity IMO, and then transitioned into the life insurance specifically. I've been in mortgage protection, final expense, and like you said, most recently just partnered, became a managing partner in March of 2021 with Integrity Marketing Group, and married to Kim Kight now for over 30 years. Got two awesome kids, getting ready to get my second one married off here in about 2 weeks. So excited about life.
Before we get into goal setting and goal planning and goal implementation, just share your thoughts on where the industry was when you started in mortgage protection to where it is now, because I feel like it's changed quite a bit.
Well, so starting my whole mortgage protection career was actually in August of 2016. Prior, I had been in final expense, and so I was getting started in a great mortgage market, and but everything the major difference was the fact that everything was face to face. The word virtual certainly was not even a part of my vocabulary. And so it was me booking my appointments mostly on Saturday mornings and then going out and running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which I will just tell you what I loved. I fell in love with personal sales. And, most people know me as an agency builder, but I will tell you, I loved personal sales so much that had my agency never really grew, I would have been fine being in the field the rest of my life and kneecap to kneecap with clients.
Outstanding. So with all of the virtual processes now, I feel like agents had this impression, and this is going to lead perfectly into goal setting, that doing it over the phone was going to be easier, that you could sell IULs from your underwear, that everyone would just be calling to purchase, that leads would be cheap, if not the cheapest ever. But that's really not how it played out, has it been? It's been almost just as hard, but with a different business model.
That's right. It's everything that I see from my end, Chris. I certainly don't want to speak for everybody, but matter of fact, I was even texting you the other day, is that everything that I see from my end on virtual, all of my top agents, the close ratios are down. And, working virtual, certainly during COVID, I thank God we were deemed essential, but the kind of the invention of this thing called virtual sales, thank God for it. I think it certainly allowed us to service a certain segment of clients that wanted to meet virtually. And agents that are choosing to go 100% virtual and plow through the lower closing ratios, good for them, because in my personal sales career, I know for 3.5-4 years, I was out, driving a lot. I never kept up with numbers, but it's amazing how many tanks of gas I would go through in a week, and miles I would put on my car, time away from my home. And but yeah, these people, virtually does not mean easier. It's just a whole different way of doing personal sales. And it's neat to see people having success with it.
Absolutely. So I'm sure with your agency, you're doing a lot of goal planning, goal preparation, goal talking, because I see a lot of the industry starting to talk about goals in the middle of January. I'm like, it's too late. It's already started. What are you talking about? Yeah. For your agency, what does goal planning look like for 2025?
So for me, it's a huge part. Whenever I get an agent started, most definitely going into the first of the year tends to be a topic most people are thinking about. But for me, goals are very destructive. And when I mean destructive, like when I think about goal setting, it's like my background in sports. It's like going to a football game. It's like going into war. Like it's like for me, it's targeting a certain segment of my life, maybe a segment of my life, Adam, where it's gotten too mediocre, right? I've gotten too soft. So whether it's my weight, which that it's my topic of choice right now, but it's targeting that certain segment of mediocrity in my life. And for a lot of agents, it could be financial, but it's just blowing it up. Like, it's just like, I'm going to fix this. Like, I'm going to focus in on this one thing. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to start speaking it. I'm going to start training my brain. I'm going to start changing the pictures I hold. And I'm not going to fall victim to what most people do, which is, okay, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to, to get all my self-discipline together, and I'm going to go and I'm going to be right back doing my same old patterns 3 or 4 weeks from now, just because self-discipline is an exhaustible resource. So it's awesome. To me, the whole mindset of goal setting, it kind of goes into books that we've read, Think and Grow Rich, Master Key to Riches, but it kind of goes into the secret of success is not so much self-discipline from a physical activity standpoint. It's more of self-discipline of thought, and really diving in and understanding what it means to change the pictures you hold inside of your subconscious mind, and then allowing that through the self-discipline of your actions to really, create a whole new root, sow a whole new seed in your life.
Adam, do you think that a lot of agents struggle? And that was probably the most powerful thing I've heard all month, John. Thank you. Do you think a lot of agents struggle because they set too many goals? Like John was just saying, targeting a specific area to blow up and reconstruct in your life or in your business. I think a lot of agents go into a new year thinking, man, I'm going to sell 200 grand. I'm going to buy 40 leads a week. I'm going to work 8 days a week. I'm going to do all these things, qualify for 3 carrier trips, build an agency, all this stuff. And then because they tried to do too much, Adam, none of it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's maybe like the movie What About Bob? The one, Bob was the patient. He was given that book called Baby Steps. And I think that's kind of what it is. It's like, you got to take baby steps. You got to crawl before you walk, sort of thing. You got to one step after another. It's like, to me, it could almost be like overkill, just trying to pile on way too much all at once. Yeah. And I think that could be it. I think maybe sometimes agents, they, like what you said, Chris, they want to do 100 different things all at once. They get totally overwhelmed. They get totally burnt out, and then they're back to working the 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. John, I was interested. I wrote down my goals every year intentionally. And then sometimes I forget what I wrote down or where I put it or what they were. And I remember about 2 years ago, I found that document on my iPad. I'm like, oh crap. I committed to do this, that, and the other thing, and I'm not there yet. Do you think sometimes agents and business owners and human beings plan, but then they lose track of what they plan to do? Like, how do they keep their goals in front of themselves?
Well, I think it's, so for me, the whole goal setting thing, there's so much information out there in goal setting. And, for me, all of the information that I hear, and Chris and Adam, you guys know that we're in an industry full of experts. And, the whole self-development is full of, experts, or the latest expert. Who's the latest guy that's got all the answers? And, so for me, whenever I hear something, I always want to go, okay, so what makes that true? It could sound good. Like it can sound good. What you're teaching can sound really, really awesome. But for me in my life at this stage of my career, I want to know what makes it true. And for me, I always go to the Bible and go, okay, so what makes this true? Because if it's true, then I can with confidence develop that in my life. And so to stay focused, I look at goal setting and the process of goal setting in two different ways. So number one is the writing it down. Okay. And what makes that true is in the book Habakkuk, second chapter. It's make it plain upon tablets so that he who reads it can run. So writing it down is so important. But then it's easily forgotten if we don't commit daily to creating a new language in our life as far as speaking. In other words, what I wrote down as far as my goals, it's not my current reality. My current reality is based on the seeds that I've sown in my past, whether it's 90 days ago or 9 years ago. So me even getting to the point where I'm writing down new goals, I've got a desire to change that. And so now I've got to walk that out. And how I stay focused on my goals, Chris and Adam, is speaking it. Mark chapter 11, I want to, there's a mountain in my life that I want to move. And like the only way truth wise to move that mountain is just me starting to speak things that aren't necessarily true in my life right now, but I've got to start speaking them as though they were true. And I found personally in my life, that's how I grow. That's how I became a good field underwriter. That's how I became a distribution builder, or as any type of successful distribution builder was just starting to speak words that were in my life at that point in time were nowhere near true. If somebody was looking at me speaking those things, they go, why are you lying to yourself? But, speaking things like I have a magnetic personality, at a time when probably my personality was anything but.
Interesting.
It sounds like you've, to me, that sounds like the law of attraction. I mean, I don't know if you are big into that stuff and like The Secret and things like that, but that's really what that book was about. The Secret was just kind of visualizing things before they really are real. Mm-hmm. And it makes a lot of sense. You put yourself in that mindset of that you've already accomplished those goals, and you like kind of give yourself that feeling of achievement. And then I don't know, it's almost like you almost feel like you're letting yourself down then if you don't get to that point.
Well, it's and Adam, I love that you said that, and I have read those books and other books like those that, I think our subconscious mind and the way that we were created, I think our subconscious mind is just phenomenal. And so many people, based on your belief system, if you dive into the part of us that's true about our subconscious minds, you can go in any direction you want to go in. And some of those books, I think, have gone in directions that are just kind of, to me, it's a little bit weird. But again, always looking at what makes the attraction factor true. And so for me, it was always interesting to learn that that I have a part of my brain that's the subconscious part of my brain, and it is so powerful that however it's programmed, I will tell you, I look back now at my younger life and I see where it was programmed in error. I had thoughts about myself that weren't true. They were lies, but I believed they were true just because of influences in my life, whether they spoke them over me or whether, I just believed them because they believed them. But I will tell you, the very moment I started learning about that part of my brain, it really made sense to this Eastern North Carolina country boy that, hey, so I don't have to be this way the rest of my life. I can be successful. People out of my hometown can be successful. And this is the process. So when I started learning about that stuff, I couldn't get enough of it.
Where do you fit book reading and physical wellness into the schedule of life? Because with kids, businesses, agents, responsibilities, I had said to myself, I'm going to go lift weights today. Like, I can't make it to the 5 a.m. class, but then all of a sudden I decided I would rather do this. But so it's tough to prioritize all the things in life that you want to do. But if you're not self-developing, you're never going to learn the stuff that you're sharing with people. So how do you fit that into your schedule?
Well, I think it's definitely a priority. Based on your desire to grow, to me, it was the work. Like going out and booking my appointments and running my appointments, that was not the work. The work had been done when I got up at 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning, and I engaged in a couple of hours of my quiet time that included reading, speaking, thinking, writing. And so me, that's the work, and then everything else is just going out and doing the things that I need to do. But it's so for me, it was a huge priority, and I think this, Chris, I think that massive action is that like we have uplines in our business, and all they're trying to do is get their agents to take massive action. And hey, listen, I get it, okay? But I don't think an agent's going to take massive action because I'm such an awesome leader or influencer. But if I can influence somebody to start reading 15 minutes a day and starting to speak their goals, write down their goals, start visualizing them living life at a different level, then all of a sudden that person is going to start taking massive action. But massive action is a byproduct of them growing themselves. So I always kind of shake my head at those awesome leaders that think that they're good enough to actually make people take massive action that's going to actually change their life. So action's certainly a part of it, but I think if agents will start looking at, hey, my activity over the last week, whether it excites me or whether it frustrates me, it's based on my thought process. I love hearing these and I can't remember the name of the basketball coach, but he coaches the lady basketball program at UConn. And I saw him do a talk recently where he was talking about behavior and where behavior comes from, and how the average coach out there just simply deals with behavior versus what causes the behavior.
Interesting. Adam, I told you we could have John on for 3 hours straight and unpack some of the deepest content this industry has ever seen, but we only had an opportunity to have him on until about 11:40 this morning. Do you have any closing questions you want to throw his way?
I really like what what he's saying about the whole, we do, we always, here's your leads, here's the training, now go out there and do it. We want them to take that action, but I like what you're saying, where it's more taking it a step further and, kind of dissecting all the way down to their life and what are they doing? What kind of habits do they have? What kind of books are they listening to? Do they even read or listen to any books? Do they even write down their goals? Those sort of things. I think that's really good. I think that's important. And those are things that I think, when building an agency, I mean, that's really what you want. You want your agents, to become just better overall people that, again, we always say, I want my agent to be just like me. I can go out there and work and do this. But I think you dissect it down further. It's more than just taking the leads and learning everything. It's a lot of that other stuff on the side that I think probably is even more important.
That's right. And hey, I'll say this. Adam just said the word of the day. He just made the whole podcast today by saying this word, and it's habits. If we look at goal setting, we look at self-development, we look at anything worthy that I'm going to do, think, or say today, it needs to be because habits, our personal habits, they rule our life. My life at any given time, Adam, the quality of my life, the success of my life at any given time is based on the habits and the disciplines that I have daily.
Well said. That's why this point of the month, this time of the year, we made a habit of creating content so that you can stay on track. Some people may be off. Some people may be on vacation. Some people may have earned the opportunity to take some time away. But for those of you that are still engaged in the field, engaged in the industry, and really pushing to keep that momentum up, we made a habit out of our calls every morning. And instead of a call, we have this content for you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most inspirational speakers and talented individuals of the industry, John Kight, this morning.
Thank y'all.
Hey, thanks a lot, John.
And this concludes another episode of the Insurance, Life, and Everything in Between podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend or colleague. And if you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please leave those too. Any input is greatly appreciated. Thank you.